Like, what's the point of even locking them up? All righty, let me get to the next call. All righty, caller, who do we have?
Good evening. This is Senate Majority Leader Dikembe, Dolemite, Kwame Schumer, formerly known as Chuck X. And thank you, all you voters. I see there's a lot of you out there tonight watching this beautiful Nubian show. Obviously, with this awful situation in the country, you're more dependent on us and all of the great benefits that we give you as your lords in the Senate.
Okay, so I'm talking to Chuck Schumer, basically. That's who I'm talking to right now.
I guess if it's easier for you to use that.
Yeah, that'll work for me. So I see that you have the kente cloth scarf. Do you know that's part of the Ashanti and Ghana? That's part of their attire, and they were slave traders in Africa. They sold black slaves to the Europeans and brought them to America. How do you feel about that?
How do I feel like about that? I'll have to check their FEC records to see which party they contributed to. But if it's the right party, then it's all fine and dandy as long as they did competitive rates. And if it was the wrong party, it was a travesty of history and sin that we can never come over.
Okay, I see. So it basically depends on, who has the biggest bag or who has the most important bag. If it's from the left or the right, that'll make the difference.
Well, I guess you might have rephrased it, but I guess, we can move on to the next thing. But most important thing is that in November, you're going to take that envelope and mail in 5 envelopes in order to get this awful orange dictator out of the White House.
5 envelopes?
Okay, as many as you need.
I mean, you can only vote one time, right? Isn't that the way that it is according to the law? You vote once if you're just one person?
Well, are we all one person, Anthony? Maybe one day I'm Dikembe Schumer, then, maybe one day a week I'm feeling like I want some Mugu Gai Pan. I'm Chiang Kai Schumer or something, and then 3 days later, I have like a little merengue fever or something. I become Ricardo Montalban Schumer.
Wow, Chiang Kai Schumer, isn't that kind of like Chiang Kai Check?
Yes, and sign those checks over to the Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee. Makes a lot of my work easier.
Okay, all right, very interesting. So, what do you want to say to everybody that wants to vote Trump and thinks that you guys in the Democratic Party aren't really doing anything? You're kind of slow, kind of just putzing around, not getting things accomplished, and they want to vote Trump to push the country forward. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, those people might feel worse if they knew what we're really doing, so maybe they should be happy the media doesn't tell you.
Okay, all right. So I don't really have much more. Anything else you want to put out there? I forgot to ask you about this. There's going to be a Trump rally, I think in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I think it's going to be one in Florida. How do you feel about the Trump rallies resuming? Is it dangerous because of the virus? What's going on?
Well, I think we have a contingency plan. I've been sending, my gang of, gardeners down there to Oklahoma. They've been driving over to the arena, and I just gave them express instructions to, use the maximum amount of precautions until they get there and cough all over every doorknob and turnstile all over the stadium.
Wow, so, that's not really the way you're supposed to go. Coughing over stuff, that shouldn't really be happening right there.
Yeah, rubbing armpits up on stuff. Yep.
Wow. So now, how about all these LGBTQ, ABCDEFG rallies in New York City that are like 25,000 deep? Are those okay?
Yeah, they're good. But my nipples are a little like tender after a couple of days of some of my constituents kind of getting a little too handsy. But it is campaign season, and I did buy a lot of cortisone for that.
Okay, I got you on that. So I think I pretty much had a question. So thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you, and uhuru, my brother.
Yeah, there you go, uhuru. Appreciate you.
Kill the blue-white devil.
All right, now. Yeah, so that was Chuck Schumer in full kente cloth. And what I said about the Ashanti was true. The funniest part about if you weren't here earlier for what I said about the Ashanti, when the Congressional Black Caucus and also Nancy Pelosi, when they put on those African print scarves, that actually comes from the Ashanti tribe in Ghana, and they were known for slave trading. That's how they rose to prominence. Okay, so just if you need a refresher, I put it on the screen right quick, just in case you guys couldn't see it, and that's going to be right there. Yeah, that from Ghana, and they were slave traders. They sold black slaves, people that look just like me, over here to the U.S. And that's a fact. It's a verifiable fact. You can look it up right now, and you'll find it. All right, let me get to the next call.